All right, guys, Chief Kirk for Kravology. This week we're talking about choke front two-hand pluck. Last week we talked about the roll of the elbows and kind of what we do with our wrists and how we pluck. This week I'm talking about the rhythm of the technique. Don't miss this. This is important. All right, so as I mentioned, remember last week we did a choke from the front two-hand pluck, and we talked about the ideal situation is going deep and plucking with the wrists. If you haven't seen that video, go back and look at it. It also brings my elbows closer to my body, creates a stronger power stroke for my pluck. And there's also sort of backup, sort of a redundant system, which is the hands to make the pluck if I miss with the wrist. So today we're talking about something a little different. I want you to notice in class, when people are doing defenses, that oftentimes students tend to do the defense at one speed. And that's not correct. And what you get when a student does the defense in one speed, typically are longer motor skills that are shortened to stay on this beat, right? So if I was going to do choke from the front, two-hand pluck, at one speed it would look frenetic and weird and improper. It would look something like this, right? And I know I'm being funny, right? Well, you've never seen me do that before, have you? But so many things went wrong with that defense that as an instructor you would kind of go, okay, let me start with the feet and move up. But people sometimes do that because they're trying to stay in a specific rhythm, right? The fastest rhythm that they can run. The problem is not all the motor skills are the same length or same size. So here's what I want to do today. I want to talk about the context of, or a metaphor, in the context of choke from the front two-hand pluck. Here's the deal. You are still you in the metaphor. You're driving a race car, an Indy car, and your Indy car is your Krav Maga. The track you're on is the defense you're making, right? So you have to take your car, your Krav Maga, and stay on the track or to respond to the demands of the attack. Notice that when you're on the straightaway, you're going as fast as you can. But you have to downshift in the turn and slow down. And if there's a hairpin turn that comes back into itself and then kicks out to straightaway, you really have to slow down. This is akin to the way a self-defense technique should be performed, because you have to take into account concepts like longer motor skills. For instance, in a two-hand pluck, if I pluck and I'm making a big kick and it takes my foot a second to rise to the groin and then to snap and make contact, that motor skill is slower and i.e. longer than the pluck. So I want you to think about going as fast as you can given the requirements of the technique, which is akin to a racetrack, right? So if I'm going slow here, I might dive in deep, I might get to my wrists, I might stomp. Right now I might be kicking, and this is going to take longer. So as I make this kick, I might accelerate back, rotate through, and dive in, right? So there are three things you really need to consider when you're doing a self-defense technique in terms of speed. The first one is full range of motion. The second one is the length of the motor skill as compared to others. And the third is micro pauses where you change direction, right? So you want to have a platform that allows you to change direction quickly, off the kick back in to make a punch, for instance, or diving into a control position. And you want to be able to do these things and understand these things in the context of the principles of Krav Maga, which is address the danger, counterattack, control, and finish. If you can do that, then the pace and speed and power and aggression of your technique will be spot on.
Spot on.
Spot on?
Yeah.
Yeah, is spot on a good term?
I think so.
Okay. Any comments?
That was good.
Okay. Until next week, Chief Kirk, Kravology.